Welcome to Heroes Channel, and in today's video, the evolution of labor in early America, from indentured servitude to racial slavery. In the early 17th century, diverse groups of individuals, including English, Ashanti, Mende, Portuguese, Germans, and more, arrived in America, each facing an uncertain future. Some sought adventure, riches, or religious freedom, while others were captives bartered like cattle. Together, they laid the foundation for the America we know today. As the tobacco crop became an increasingly lucrative commodity in the American colonies, the demand for labor surged, shaping the trajectory of the region's economic landscape. Indentured servants, both white and black, were brought to America under contracts defining the length of their service. This system allowed individuals, such as Anthony Johnson, an African, to navigate through the fluidity of opportunities within the framework of indentured servitude. Johnson's story is particularly illustrative, as he not only completed his term of service, but went on to acquire land and prosperity, showcasing how some individuals could transcend the limitations of their initial labor contracts and establish themselves as landowners. The seismic shift towards racial slavery in the 1640s marked a critical juncture in the evolution of labor systems within the American colonies. During this transformative period, legislative measures took center stage, shaping the trajectory of societal structures and altering the nature of servitude. Laws emerged that not only solidified the existing distinctions between indentured servitude and lifelong servitude, but more significantly, introduced a novel criterion for enslavement: race. As the 1640s unfolded, a stark racial divide began to crystallize, redefining the parameters of servitude. The emerging legal framework delineated a sharp contrast between the fate of those bound by indentures, regardless of their terms, and those subjected to a lifetime of servitude solely based on their racial identity. This institutionalization of racialized enslavement laid the groundwork for a deeply entrenched system that would persist for centuries, fundamentally altering the social fabric of the colonies. By the turning point of 1661, Virginia played a pivotal role in codifying this transition by legally recognizing and endorsing the institution of slavery. This legislative move had profound implications, as it not only formalized the enslavement of a specific racial group, but also marked the beginning of a legalized system designed to perpetuate and reinforce racial hierarchies. The concept of race became a decisive factor in determining one's legal status, firmly intertwining the notions of race and servitude in the colonies. The codification of slavery as a legal institution represented more than just a shift in the labor landscape. It became a cornerstone for the social and economic structures of the American colonies. The implications of this transition reverberated through generations, shaping the destinies of individuals and communities and contributing to the complex legacy of racial relations in the United States. The 1640s and 1660s thus stand as a watershed moment, witnessing the crystallization of racial slavery as a defining feature of the American experience. Increasing unrest among indentured servants culminated in the Bacon's Rebellion of 1676. The chaotic aftermath made racial slavery more attractive to landowners seeking a stable, permanent labor force. Laws enforcing racial distinctions were enacted, closing opportunities for upward mobility. Royal African Company and the rise of the slave trade, 1680s to 1700s. In 1672, the Royal African Company, backed by English nobility, expanded the British slave trade. Africans, perceived as outsiders, became a permanent inheritable labor force. By 1705, Virginia laws clearly defined slaves as real estate, solidifying racial slavery as a cornerstone of the colony. The journey from Africa to America. The brutal transatlantic slave trade forcibly took over 20 million Africans to the Americas. Survivors like Olaudah Equiano endured unimaginable challenges, from linguistic diversity to the horrors of the Middle Passage. By the late 17th century, the colony's political economy depended on slavery, marking a contradictory path for a nation founded on ideals of freedom. As Virginia legally recognized slavery in 1661, the concept of race became an indelible factor in determining one's status, leaving an enduring legacy that would shape the trajectory of American history. This transition was more than a shift in economic structures. It was a seismic moment that fundamentally altered the social fabric, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's identity. The 1640s to 1660s stand as a pivotal era, underscoring the complex interplay between labor, race, and power that continues to resonate in the ongoing narrative of the United States. Thank you, and please like and subscribe.